Welcome back to Housewives Nightcap. We have an amazing show for you guys today. We have two guests. One is a Jersey girl like me, and Lauren.
And another is a Beverly Hills girl, not like me, but I hope to be like that someday. We are talking with Garcelle. She's actually promoting a really special project near and dear to her heart. But of course, we still got all the tea about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And then our second guest, bringing it back to you, Emily,
is Daryn Carp, you guys. I feel like she's like a mini celebrity for me because I just love her. I've listened to her stuff and I'm so excited to have her on. So listen and enjoy.
Garcelle, I feel like I tell you this every time we talk, but you are so busy, so busy. How do you juggle it all? Like, I don't know. How do you do it?
I have a really great assistant. It takes a village. I have a lot of people that help me, but yeah, it is really busy. But I figured, like, take it while it's happening, right? I can rest later. I can retire at some point. I don't know when, but I love being busy. It feeds my soul. It feeds my spirit. I love doing different things, and this is perfect for me. But there are times I hit the wall and I'm like, I'm shutting it all down. I'm going to bed at 6:30. I'm taking a bath and no one talked to me.
Which is totally normal. And if you didn't do that, I would be worried. I would be like, how is she doing this? So
exactly.
Thank you for being authentic and real with us like you always are. And so, like I said last time we talked, we also talked about your dating life, and you said nothing was going on, nothing to report on, which I was like, I find that hard to believe, Garcelle. But it's been a couple of weeks.
But it's been a couple of weeks. I'm dating. I'm exploring. I'm having a good time. Hot girl summer.
We love a hot girl summer. So there's no one specific, because there was some reports saying that you're with some TV anchor. And I was like, what?
Oh, God. Yeah, we had dinner, but I've known him for a very long time. We do a lot of great things together for Haiti. But no, I'm not dating him.
Okay. Just, you're having a hot girl summer, which are we going to see a little bit more of on Real Housewives this season? Because we kind of got a little glimpse, and then I was like...
Yeah, we did get a little glimpse. No, by the time we finished shooting this year, with COVID and Erika kind of took the whole show. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to do that. That's because, we were not limited in our shooting, but we were definitely... It was a different year. But maybe next season.
Okay, next season.
Yeah.
We would love to see it, because we do need to talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
We did bring up Erika. So I just want to know, because, a lot of fans are having a hard time believing her week after week. Do you believe Erika really didn't know what was going on? And do you think she'll be back at the reunion or even next season after all of this?
Oh my gosh, she's got to come to the reunion. I mean, I think we all have to show up for the reunion. You know what? I think everything was developing as we shot. I mean, literally every day we'd wake up and there'd be something that the producer either texted us, or we're reading online, or we're hearing in the news. I mean, it was really hard. I believe she didn't know all of it. Is there some that she could have known? Maybe. But, every marriage has a different dynamic. I felt like I was really in the know. Well, no, let me take that back. I was not in the know about everything on my marriage. I think, when you're dealing with a guy that's that high powered, I don't think he told her everything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? When they met, she was 22 years old. I don't know how much business things he would talk to her about. So I don't know. We're all really learning as we go along. I think Erika's learning as we go along. Wait till you watch this week's episode. She finds out something that she didn't even know they owned.
Because that's the thing, when she brought up last week, the car accident, then also him cheating. And then for me as a viewer, I'm like, I feel like if Tom was cheating, she would have freaked out and we would have known about that.
Girl, I mean, like, this is what's so crazy. If you look at Erika and you look at Tom, who's cheating? Like, what? Come on. You would have thought Erika swinging from the chandeliers.
So I do want your opinion on this, though, because I know you're close with Denise Richards. And last season, we saw her get attacked and bombarded over an alleged hookup. And it was an alleged hookup. Okay, so now we have Erika, we have this scandal, and the women aren't questioning her the way that they were with Denise. And as Denise's friend, I would imagine that kind of irritates you, or I don't know how that makes you feel, but for as a viewer, I'm like,
it irritates me, and also it doesn't make sense. Like, and I believe they've known, well, some of them knew Denise longer than Erika, so I don't get it either. I mean, that's really baffling to me, is how come they believe Erika right out the gate and they never believe Denise?
why
So
do you,
that's a question for them.
why do you think it is? Even with Elisa Vanderpump, you know, with the whole puppy gate. And I just know as a viewer, that's all the questions we are asking.
Sure. No, I totally get it. I was asking the same question too. Like, why does she get carte blanche when we don't know anything? And this is much bigger issues. Yet, you know, they would have to explain it for themselves.
Like I said, you're always super authentic and we love you so much. Do you have any opinion on what's going down in Real Housewives of New York? Because there's a cash shakeup. People are blaming Ebony, Leah. I don't know if you watched the franchise, but I would love to know your opinion on it.
I don't watch the franchise all the time, but I've definitely checked it out since Ebony came along. I mean, I've seen it before, but I wanted to see what, you know, Ebony was bringing. And I like Ebony. And I think, you know what, we're not all the same. You know, Ebony is a lawyer, so she's much more of a, not historian, what was the word? She's definitely paying more attention to detail. Like for me, I address an issue if it's in front of me, but I also don't feel like I need to address everybody's issues.
Which makes sense. Okay, Garcelle, it's finally time we talk about your new partnership with HomeGoods.
Not only are you partnering with HomeGoods, but you're also giving back. So it's even extra special. So you got to tell us.
Oh, I love that. First of all, anytime I get a chance to do anything at HomeGoods, I am so there. It's insane. I love that place so much. I feel like it's always a treasure. You're always, you know, a treasure hunt, trying to figure out what's here, what's new. So it's always exciting. So when HomeGoods came to me to partner, to give back to teachers, which is everything. You know, as a mom, I think we all have a new appreciation for teachers. For the past year and a half, you know, kids being home and homeschooled and us being the teachers and the moms and the cook and the clean. I mean, it's a lot, right? So I feel like giving back to teachers was a no-brainer. I know for me, when I came to the United States, teachers inspired me to dream big. I couldn't even possibly have dreamt the life that I have now if it wasn't for people who inspired me and made me feel good. So giving back to teachers, I think they're underrated. We need to pay them more. We need to celebrate them more. We need to give back to them as much as possible.
Oh, I love that. And I agree 1,000%. You transformed a couple of teachers' rooms, right? In your hometown of Miami, which makes it even more special.
Yeah, the teacher's lounge at Benjamin Franklin K-8 Center in Miami, which Miami is my hometown. My sisters live there. I lived a good part of my teenage years in Miami. So not only was it a great sort of synergy, my sister Chantel is also vice principal at a school in Miami, that it just made sense that it would be in Miami. It also made sense that the student body is predominantly Haitian kids, and that obviously spoke to me. But it was just a really great project, and we got to transform this teacher's lounge into a space that when they walked in for the reveal, they were blown away by the colors and the attention to detail, and making the space so special so that they would be inspired and therefore give it back, pay it forward, I guess you should say, and inspire the kids. It was a really great time to be a part of.
I keep saying special, but that just sounds very special. And I
Yeah.
know back to school, it's right around the corner. You have twins yourself, which I feel like, what grade are they going into now?
They're going into the 8th grade, and I cannot believe it. And this is the first time they're going to different schools. So I have been online, like getting their immunization cards online. You got to do their vaccination cards online, so there's proof they've been vaccinated. It is so much. I cannot wait for them to go to school.
I was about to say, I'm not a parent, but like, I would be like, after this summer, bye-bye. See ya.
My kids might be there a week before it actually opens up.
That is so funny. And how do they feel about going to different schools? Because I mean, every time we see them on Housewives, they seem pretty close.
Yeah, they're pretty close at times. But yeah, this is the first time that we're doing it. And I think it'll be good for them, you know, because they're definitely, you know, they're obviously different personalities and we treat them differently as much as we can. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. They're together so much that we thought, all right, we'd be open to different schools.
Okay, it's time for our second guest who's just as amazing.
She's a fellow Jersey girl, and she is the host of People TV's Reality Check and a million other podcasts. Welcome, Daryn Carp.
Hey, thanks for having me. Fellow Jersey girl, I'll take. I mean, that's the best compliment you can get these days.
Jersey is like, I always talk about this when we have, I wanted to say Roni, but Real Housewives of New Jersey's on, because I'm obsessed with Jersey, and anytime they come on, I'm like, Jersey, hey, and Lauren's like, oh.
And I'm just over here like, hi. Don't know how to relate to you guys, but here I am.
It's Jersey pride all the way. You know what I mean? Like if everyone's going to make fun of Jersey about being the armpit of America, then people actually from Jersey have to overcompensate with our pride. That's how it works.
Right.
Exactly.
There's something about us. It's Florida and Jersey. Like we're so annoying. Sorry, Lauren. We're so
Emily, there you go. Already. It's been a
Lauren,
minute.
I asked if I could curse, and Emily's Jersey's just coming out of left field all the time. I'm trying to keep it in check for you today. I'm trying my best.
Jersey check, both of you. Both of you. All right, well, we need to get into it because, Daryn, we just need to know more about you. Like Emily said in the intro, you do a lot. So how did you even get into this reality TV space?
It's kind of a weird circuitous journey, but I started out as an NBC page right from college. So I was the Kenneth from 30 Rock and they were gray suits at the time. I don't know if they've changed them, but I was given tours of NBC. I worked on SNL and Sci-Fi and MSNBC. And my goal was to always be a game show host. That's kind of been my dream. And so when I was talking to my page bosses about this, they were like, okay, it's kind of hard to there's not any steps in order for you to become a game show host, and there's no proper path. I didn't want to be a development executive or marketing, but a job came out to be the development production coordinator to the EVP of production and development, this guy named Andrew Cohen at Bravo at the time. I mean, this was 10 and a half years ago. To some extent, he was still a little bit of an Andrew Cohen, but he was only on air like 1 or 2 nights a week. And my page bosses convinced me to apply. I was like, I don't want to be an assistant. I looked down on it, to be honest with you, when I was 22, because I wanted to go be a local reporter and work my way up and get on camera experience. But they were like, this guy's awesome. He's got his own show. And I interviewed. 4 interviews later, I eventually got it. I met with him for about 2.5 minutes. And I made him laugh. And he said I was the only interview to make him laugh. And he got me. So he took me. And I've been with him for 10 years. So that's kind of how I got into the reality realm. But then I started doing more on camera work. That's what I really wanted to do. I started doing stuff for Bravo Digital. Obviously, if you're going to work for the king of pop culture, you have to understand a little bit of what they're talking about. And so I just got so into it. And then I co-hosted one time for People TV's Reality Check, and they liked me so much that they asked me to be the host.
So you're still Andy's assistant also while juggling all this other stuff. Is it one of those things where you're just like, you can't leave him, or...
I mean, listen, it's I love him. I genuinely, as weird as it is to say, he's my mentor and I couldn't ask for a better mentor. So I'm not necessarily itching to leave him at any given time just because he's such a good boss.
And then also you get, the insider tea, which I'm sure you love too.
Oh, so. Yeah. I'll call Andy. I'll be like, what's going on with this?
Which we need to talk about because there's so much going on. And I don't know if you can spill anything for us, but we just need your opinion at least because,
sure.
I think we need to start out with New Jersey as we keep talking about you two New Jersey girls. Let's start with New Jersey. There's a recent report saying that one housewife's husband has been cheating for 10 years, and that's the big storyline this season. So who do we think it is?
Well, Marge is the one that exposes it, apparently.
Teresa's party.
It's not Marge. So
it's not Marge. It's not Teresa, obviously.
I wouldn't think it would be Marge just because Marge left her ex-husband to go with Joe right now. And by the way, I'm obsessed with them. Wow. Honestly, I have not watched any cuts of New Jersey. So this is literally pure guess. I don't want anyone taking what I'm saying as fact. This is pure opinion. I think it's best for me to do this because if I watch too ahead, I give spoilers. So I kind of keep myself ignorant, but I think what we saw at the end of the reunion last season was Marge and Jennifer Aydin really going at it. And we kind of saw that this and that. And Marge had insinuated that Bill, Jennifer Aydin's husband, you know, there were talks previous seasons of him having another house with his sexy coworker or something like that. If I had to guess, I would think it would be Jennifer Aydin.
I'm obsessed with Bill, honestly, but I always question marriages where the husband gives like large gifts that come in like diamonds and jewels. And I always question that kind of marriage because I'm like, what do you buy?
What are you hiding?
You know what I mean?
What are you buying her off for? Like what happened that you're like, all right,
Right.
$100,000 ring will kind of bust that over. But there are dudes out there and women. I'm in a same-sex relationship that are just like really nice people that want to pamper their wives because she churned out, you know, 100 million kids for this guy. And
no. Lesbian relationships, there are those men. There are not straight men.
Okay, but I love
like,
also,
okay, no.
also, men do not do that to be good husbands. They do that because
cover
they
up.
have an agenda.
no, I mean, okay, we can't say that about all men because also Bill, I'm going to say not fell in love. I did not.
I think he's a sweet guy to her though.
He's a great dad and he's sweet to her when the cameras are rolling, but I'm skeptical. I think it's probably Jen, and I'm excited to see it all play out. I do feel bad that they have so many kids and there's children involved.
If it's true.
If it's even true.
If it's even true.
It might be complete. It might be Joe and Melissa, which I don't think so.
I just don't. Those two are like all over each other. I mean, maybe. I mean, like, who knows, right? But like, and I know we're probably going to get into this, but even what we're seeing on Beverly Hills right now with Erika Jayne, I think it's obvious that you can't just believe everything you hear.
No.
Right? Like everyone's like, these rumors are flying out. And as fans, I think that's a good lesson for us to be like, okay, because Page 6 is reporting on it, doesn't mean that it's fact.
Erika Jayne. Let's talk about it. What do you think? What is your take on guilty, innocent, where do you stand?
I think she's going through what probably a lot of women go through. I'm not saying men don't go through it, but I think the trope there is the younger, you know, not as financially secure woman with the older, certainly financially secure man. I mean, we've sort of seen this trope before happen. So, and there's a lot of people that I think are learning from Erika Jayne right now, which I think is very beneficial in terms of society and hopefully a lot of the fans watching, but I feel horrible for her. And I don't think she had any idea personally. I truly don't. I mean, I think that it's really easy to not know what your partner's doing, especially if that partner is seen as controlling and certainly wants to keep things from her. I mean, they had houses she wasn't even aware of. So for him not to divulge these secrets is really no surprise to me. I truly think she is innocent of knowing anything. I think
you're the first person we've had on that like has boldly taken this stance.
Yeah.
And I know it's controversial. I mean, I know it's controversial. Like to be fair, if we look at like the Teresa and Joe incident of which they went to prison, which is obviously a very severe charge. Do I think Teresa signed the paper? Yeah, of course. And I think she's guilty of doing that. But do I actually think she knew what she was signing? No, I don't. And I'm not saying, you know, you can just plead ignorance on this stuff. But I think with Erika Jayne, she, as far as I know, she hasn't signed anything to help Tom or this and that. So I could easily see it being like, listen, cash is coming in. I don't have to question where it's coming from.
You just made a really good point that I had not thought about. When Teresa was being accused of being involved in Joe's dealings, no one thought she knew. Like everyone knew, oh, Teresa definitely just signed that and had no idea what she was signing. No one thought she was guilty, like that she knew what she was doing. So is it that Erika is so like comes off so much more intelligent that we're all like, okay, you know?
Well, I think she's been so secretive in the past. I mean, her theme is that she's cold, right? Like we never get anything out of Erika. Like that's the thing. Like, and that's her kind of, I mean, she's had Housewives taglines about this. Like that is her brand for better or for worse. And so I think it's really easy to be like, you know, oh, she stayed silent on that. Like, oh, she hasn't been around there. Oh, how could she not question how she's getting these $10,000 outfits and living in this 11,000 square foot mansion or whatever. But I don't know, especially when you have a controlling husband. Like, I think a lot of people, from what I'm seeing online, is that she should be more graceful in what happened. Like she should be giving her stuff away. She should be doing more to like reparations in a lot of ways, you know, and maybe that's true. And that's kind of a separate argument, but I don't think that she willingly did anything horrible to another person. I mean, that's just not her character as far from what I've seen and from what I know, like that doesn't really track for me.
Well,
Where can people keep up with you and watch your show and listen to your podcast?
Well, first off, thank you so much for having me. Yes, you can follow me at Carpe Daryn, CarpeDaryn, on all platforms. You can download our Shaken and Disturbed, which is a true crime podcast on Patreon, patreon.com/Shaken and Disturbed. I also have another LGBTQ podcast called Scissoring Isn't a Thing that I co-host with my friend Liz. And then you can download People TV's Reality Check Monday through Thursday. It streams live at 4:30 p.m. where I interview all the reality stars of the day.